Afternoon, guys. My name is Patrick Ledwaba. I'm your OHS lecturer. Hope you guys are enjoying your day today. And today we have important notes on the board here. We have legal definitions. We have different types of legislation. We have the subsections, and we have health regulations. Let's start with the legal definitions here. So the first definition is ambit. Ambit, range or specific scope of the law. Like ambit is like how the laws have been put into place. You can't change laws and whatnot. So ambit is range or specific scope of the law. And liable, legally obliged and responsible. Legally obliged and responsible. Here we might be talking about maybe your safety reps or your safety officers. They are legally obliged and responsible for whatever goes on site. And vicarious liability. Vicarious liability, CEO for all employees. Vicarious liability, that means is the CEO. He's the one who is liable for everything that that goes on in a construction site or whatever. He is the person in charge, the owner. And delict, a civil wrong that requires compensation. This one here, if maybe you've been wronged or victimized in the workplace, they're going to investigate, and if need be, then you might require compensation. And here we have different types of legislation. So we have two types of legislations, which is the acts and regulations. So don't get it twisted, guys. You must know your acts and know your regulations and know the difference between the two. And next we have OHS Act 85 of 1993, 50 sections. But now I don't have 50 sections here on the board. So the first section here is GAR, General Administrative Regulation. The Act, General Administrative Regulation 2003. That means GAR came about in 2003. And we have General Safety Regulation. And then we have Major Hazard Installation Regulation 2001. That means MHIR regulation came about in 2001. And then we have ER. This is the explosive regulation. So whenever you're working with explosives on site, that means you fall under ER, explosive regulation. And we have CR, construction regulation. So whenever you're working in construction and whatnot, it means you fall under CR, the Construction Regulation Act. And we have RWHC, Regulation on Hazardous Work by Children. Regulation on Hazardous Work by Children is SH 2010. That means this regulation, WRHC, came about in 2010. And then here we have the health regulation. And for health regulation, guys, we have asbestos regulation, which came about in 2002. So whenever you are working with asbestos, that means you fall under AR, Asbestos Regulation 2002. And then we have DR, Diving Regulation 2010. That means diving regulation. Whenever you do anything that has to do with diving, that means you fall under the Diving Regulation 2010. And then next we have ERW, Environment Regulation for Workplace, 1987. Environment Regulation for Workplace That means this is the regulation for the environment, because whenever we do work, the regulation says we must not do damage to the environment. So, environmental regulation for workplace 1987, and next we have facility regulation, and the next one we have hazardous chemical substance regulation. So whenever you are working with hazardous substances, that means you fall under CHSR regulation 1995, and then we have land regulation here. And yeah, that's about it, guys. As we're going to compile our next lesson. See you just now. Welcome back, guys. Patrick Ledwaba here. So I've compiled a second chapter of notes. So I'm just going to do explaining quick. How did the Labor Act come about? It came from the Labor Department and government committees and parliament. This is how the act came about, the Labor Act. So here, this is a definition: hazard, exposure to potential danger, incident. An incident causes injury, illness, damage, or no. An incident causes injury, illness, or damage to property. And environment, the surrounding within which humans exist. And then pollution, any change in the environment caused by substances or radioactive or other waves, noise, odor, dust, or heat. And then here we have duties of the employer. The employer's duties is to maintain risk-free work environment. Yeah, that's like very important. Everyone has the right to work in a safe working environment, risk-free. And to inform all employees of their work scope. This is another duty. He must inform the employees of their work scope so that they know how to do their job correctly and not do anything that is not supposed to do. And maintain machinery and keep safe and risk-free. Yes, machinery needs to be maintained so that it might not cause machineries which are not maintained are a risk to the person who's maybe using it, because if a machinery is not maintained, it might cause, it might malfunction and cause a problem. And then reduce hazards before resorting to PPE. Okay, they say reduce hazards before resorting to PPE. That means he must eradicate all the hazards which are there in the workplace, and then afterwards he can then resort to PPE. And then here is importance of legal appointments. Legal appointments, they delegate specific tasks to certain people, and then they delegate authority to certain people, and they delegate responsibility to certain people, and they act important part of health and safety management system. Coming to this side. A competent person means an appointed person. And here we have the OHSA, 16.1 is an appointee. 16.1 in a construction site, 16.1 is called a CEO. They don't call it CEO in a construction site. So they might ask you, where's your 16.1? Then you must know, oh, my CEO is there. And then here we have OHSA, 16.2. This is the assignee. And the assignee can be maybe the foreman or your safety officer specifically. So 16.1. This is the assignee. Yeah, you can just put it like that and say it's our safety officer. And then here, just want to explain something quickly. When we say 16.2, this 16 is the section and the 2 is the subsection. So 16.1, section 16, subsection 1. General mechanical regulation, 2, subsection 1. So it's supervision for machinery. As you can still see here, it's general machinery regulation, 2, subsection 1. This is the section and this is the subsection. And here we have a question, why a management system? SHE can never be effective without a management system. Means by which an issue or discipline can effectively be managed to ensure goals are achieved. So they say here, a construction site can never be effective without a management system, and it is used to install discipline and to make sure that goals are achieved, so that we have development and we have way forward in what we are doing. And then here we have types of occupational health stressors. We have chemical, physical, economic, psychosocial, and biological. So here the chemical stressors, we have fumes and gases. Fumes and gases, maybe, gases with toxic gases which come from maybe cars and maybe sun. And physical stressors is like noise and radiation. And economic stressor is improper lifting. Improper lifting, maybe in a side they might show you, maybe you might need someone to help you lift, or maybe they'll show you proper ways on how they want you guys to lift in order not to hurt your back. And then here we have psychosocial. Psychosocial stressor, here we have bullying and victimization. Bullying and victimization, those you have your labor department and your CEOs and your safety officers. Those are the people that deal with victimization and bullying in the workplace. And biological, we have bacteria and we have parasites. Bacteria and parasites, these things are mostly found on the ground, man. Now as far as I know, bacteria and parasites are mostly for things that we find on the ground. Guys, I hope these notes that I've compiled for you are helpful. Until we meet again.